mind when you hear the word disease? Do you think of cancer, diabetes, HIV, even cardiovascular disease? Do you think it's out of control of the sufferer? Most diseases are treatable with medication, possibly surgery, but disease is not limited to those such illnesses. Webster's defines disease as a condition of the body that impairs its function. Alcoholism is a compulsive, uncontrolled consumption of alcohol, usually to the detriment of the drinker's health, personal relationships, and social standing. I would say that defines a condition of the body that impairs its functioning. To be an alcoholic, you are physically and mentally controlled by alcohol. It's a sneaky disease. It could be the homeless man on the side of the street. That's what most people think of when they think of an alcoholic. Yet it could also be your pastor, your teacher, it could be the bank teller, your mother, your sister, your brother, or it could be you. No one is exempt. It does not discriminate, and it is not picky. When you have it, you are usually the last to know. Many people believe defining alcoholism as a disease gives it an excuse, gives the person an excuse to party, to be irresponsible, to mess up, and not be held accountable, that one should just be able to stop and control themselves and not drink. These people need to be educated on the fact that alcoholism is a disease in which the sufferer is powerless over alcohol. Without treatment, an alcoholic will die from this disease, and while it kills you, it will try and take down anyone on its path. Alcoholism is a fatal disease which has both hereditary and situational causes and can be controlled with diagnosis and treatment. There are more deaths each year than you would probably realize due to alcoholism. Approximately 100,000 people in the U.S. each year die related to alcoholic deaths. And yes, drinking and driving is an obvious cause and effect, but there is also a higher rate of suicide in alcoholics than in any other disease, as well as other accidents such as drowning and falling, and the physical health problems that will eventually lead to your death. There are many reasons why one would become an alcoholic. It is linked to genetics and environmental factors. Chapter 12 in Contemporary Women's Health states that having an alcoholic parent will increase the risk. Approximately 60% of alcoholics have at least one parent who is also an alcoholic. Childhood abuse is also linked to being an alcoholic. Nearly half the cases of alcoholics have been abused as a child. Social patterns such as excessive drinking in your teenage years and binge drinking in college, as well as a disrupted upbringing in your family life, can also lead to alcoholism. So what can be done to help the alcoholic? Nothing. Nothing can be done until the alcoholic is ready to be helped. There are treatment centers, rehabs, and 12-step programs, but until the alcoholic is ready, no help will be effective. The first step of Alcoholics Anonymous says, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol and that our lives have become unmanageable. Until the alcoholic can admit both of these statements, powerlessness and unmanageability, there is almost nothing that can be done. You can love them and you can understand that they are sick. You cannot tolerate their behavior and you can separate yourself from their disease, because remember, it does want you too. Once the alcoholic is ready, you can be supportive. As you would support your mother with breast cancer, you can support your brother with alcoholism. There is a way of life without alcohol. The Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous states, rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are the people who cannot or will not give themselves to this simple program, usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. The way to recover from this disease is to have a willingness, open-mindedness, and honesty to change. And once one is ready, there is help. You can never be cured of alcoholism. You can make a decision to live life one day at a time without alcohol. An alcoholic must be willing to wake up one day at a time, willing to not pick up alcohol that day. Because of the disease of alcoholism, the sick one will immediately become powerless if they have just one drink. This is a lifelong illness. 12-step programs offer a solution of recovery, not a cure. The ill must remain aware that without the willingness to be different, the cycle of insanity will continue. The disease will land the active alcoholic in death, jail, or an institution. However, if one is willing to fight the battle, they will quickly realize that this is a disease you can live with.